I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I got one on my phone.
You got one? Okay, I'll just download it.
Okay. Hi, Danny. What brings you in today?
Just a lot of stuff is going on, I guess, with school and work, and it's getting overbearing at this point.
Okay. Tell me what you mean by it being overbearing.
It just seems like a lot when it really shouldn't be a lot, I guess.
What makes you think it shouldn't be a lot?
I think just like more of the situations is why it shouldn't be a lot. Like it's just more like little things that are turning into big things, and it's like severely stressful. Work next year is switching to 2 days off, 5 days on, and we're still not getting 40 hours a week. Well, I mean, you always get overtime, but it's not like you're scheduled for 40 hours. So that's okay, but I guess like on top of school, it's really stressful because my only 2 days off will just be spent at school, and I'm not really liking how this semester is going at all, just with how classes are and situations that come from that.
Okay, well, it seems like school and work are causing you stress with some changes that are about to occur. So let's start with work and then we'll talk about school. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, so you said work is changing to 5 days on. Was it previously 4 days on?
Yes.
Okay, so you like that better?
Yes, because it gave me, with school, it gave me 1 day like to just kind of, just kind of take it easier, just take a breather, but usually I was called in on those days or, a school thing would come up anyway, but it was just kind of nice to just take like a slight breather and a break from it all. But now that's not really going to happen.
So, to make sure I'm understanding right now with your work schedule in this semester of school, you had a day where you didn't have class or work? Is that correct?
Most of the time.
Okay, and then now with the new 5-day program, you won't get that because you'll have class on your days off?
Yes.
So it seems like you like that free time and you really prefer to have nothing planned for a day, whether it's school or work. Do you enjoy the time you do spend at work?
Oh yeah, I do enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot more than school stuff. And I think that's where like my main concern is, or my main issues is with school. I just feel that for basic entry level classes, I'm really struggling. And I don't think it's the workload, I just think it's, I'm not really sure, but I think that's what I'm struggling with because I don't know if my heart is here. I don't know if this program is right for me, and I think it's because of how it's affected me this semester. I just don't feel like it's very organized, and I just don't feel like I'm going to excel. And I think that's where a lot of my stress is coming from, because of that, like I don't feel motivated at all.
It seems like it is important to you to excel in what you do.
Absolutely.
In the past with school, have you excelled?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
That's probably led way into you expecting to do as well in your future schooling.
Yeah, like undergrad was great for me. And I don't know, I was talking about it with some friends last night, and it's just like I don't think it's like the workload that gets me, because my last year of undergrad I had 21 and a half hours, and then I was a TA, and then I had my internship and a part-time job. So it's like I don't think it's like the load. I think it's like the classes in general that I struggle with.
Okay, so
the workload that's from that.
Okay, explain what you mean by maybe the classes in general.
I just think like the curriculum is harder for me. Like group presentations are not my thing. I don't feel, I don't know what the right word is. I don't feel like I am getting the assignments as well as I should for a basic class. I feel like I am being marked down for a lot of things, and I'm not getting a good feedback or constructive criticism when I need it. I know I need it, and without like that constructive criticism, I don't know how to fix it. So, especially whenever it comes to like papers and tests, like, okay, this is like, you know, if you fail me for that assignment, like, tell me how, or tell me what I can do differently. And that's where I'm struggling. It's just like, here's all what you got wrong. You're a grad student, figure out what you did wrong. And I don't feel like that's how it should go.
You think you could learn better if you got feedback and knew what to change for the next time?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that makes sense, absolutely, that you're feeling that way, because if you're getting points off or something, it's natural to want a reason for it, so that you can work harder, know what to focus on for the next time instead of just left to figuring it out yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried discussing this with a teacher?
I have, but I don't feel like I'm heard with that. So I think that's also why I just have like this feeling where I'm not motivated. Because I'm just like, you know, I'm trying and trying and trying, and it's just kind of like I'm stuck. So, and I've talked with like other people, and they felt the same, and so I don't feel like I'm alone on this, which helps. But then again, it concerns me because I'm like, you know, I shouldn't be feeling like this, and so I just don't know, like, if this is right for me. Like, this is where I want to study, but I don't know if here is the place I need to be. And I struggle with that because I'm like, I don't even know where to look at that point. A huge reason why I picked Quincy is because it's very convenient. It's by home, you know, make connections through that, but I don't know. And I think part of it also is I feel very happy at work, and I know I can excel through that. And my mind just keeps telling me, like, do you really need a master's to excel through there? Like, you got your job, you got where you want to work for the rest of your life. Do you need more? So that's where it's also at.
Yeah. So just to kind of summarize those feelings is that you're pretty frustrated with your graduate school experience so far, and you have multiple reasons for that. Some of it is just not getting feedback. Some of it, you mentioned group presentations and just the workload. You didn't expect maybe to be this difficult, or maybe hard to understand why you're getting points off. And so now you're trying to play with the idea of changing programs or just not getting a master's degree.
Mm-hmm. And I don't like that feeling because it makes me feel like I'm a failure. Mm-hmm. So, because I just don't like easily give up on something like that, but I don't feel like I should be upset every night I leave after class. Because, like, the fact, like, I do pay attention, and it's just like, what did I learn today? But I don't feel like that every class, but it's just like, you know, especially like the whole group presentation things, there's just like a lot of stuff happening with that shouldn't be happening, and it's just like I shouldn't be feeling like that with the orientation class. I should be feeling that within like upper level masters or like doctorate stuff.
So I hear you say should and shouldn't a lot. So it seems like coming into the program you had a lot of expectations for how it would make you feel, and those aren't being met at all.
Absolutely.
And I noticed you've mentioned a group presentation multiple times. Do you want to share some of your struggles about that?
Yeah, just this past one, a lot of stuff happened with it. Like, I was assigned to create the presentation, and just a lot of things were changed at the last minute. So, two of us struggled with what to say because we didn't see that it was changed until right before class, and it was really embarrassing. Like, to not look like I knew what I was talking about, and I know two of those people are talking with Dean about it, like as if we didn't do anything in the group. So now I'm worried about, there goes my points, even though I created the whole presentation and then they changed, like, just wording and stuff at the last second. They added some stuff that they didn't tell us about, and I couldn't sit there and formulate what to say within 20 minutes. So that's on my mind severely, but yeah.
You felt unprepared for the presentation.
Extremely. And I looked over it and I practiced it I wasn't able to make a lot of the groups because I had work, especially with this week. I got snowed in on Monday, so I had to make up the hours on Tuesday, which is my off day, and so that was extremely beyond inconvenient. But I had to make up 10 hours, so $150 of my paycheck, or meet with them for an hour, whatever. Like, I had to choose my poison at that point.
But would you say that work, where you work right now, the position you're in, is more of a priority to you than school?
Yep, absolutely.
So I think that definitely shows something about where your loyalty lies. But it's good that you're happy with your job. I think that some people struggle with that, and I think that's something to be happy about, that it doesn't stress you out to go to work, and that you seem to enjoy that. Yeah. But then, since you're happy with work, it makes you wonder if you should even continue to pursue your master's degree.
At least here. I didn't know if like online or just something different would be better. And
so tell me about what made you want to get your master's degree to begin with.
My senior year of undergrad, I was told that if you want a license, you have to have a master's. I'm like, great, you probably should have told me that freshman year. So I felt very scrambled to try to find a place. I didn't know exactly. Well, my first plan was to have like a own practice, like one-on-one counseling sessions, and then I had a pretty bad experience with my internship, and that made me feel very uncomfortable with one-on-one practices because I never really got a lot of feedback from my advisor, and I didn't think that's how like the internship should have went, so that kind of ruined my outlook on one-on-one, at least with me doing it. I think like others are excellent at it, but I didn't think that was for me. So when I got the job at Chaddock, I'm like, okay, like this is better, like working with trauma and relationship building. I'm like, it can still be one-on-one, but it's like in different situations. So I guess that was more why I wanted a master's, because I'm like, I don't want to sit there and work in a cottage the rest of my life, and that's how I retire. I'd like to move up, but I'm struggling with, like, do I need a master's to move up there, or, because I know, like, if you want to be, like, a cottage therapist, then yeah, of course you have to have a master's and license and all that, but that's not what I want to do, one-on-one kind of stuff. So I think it's one of those things where I would need to talk to, like, my boss, and, like, what are my options if I don't get a master's, and how can I move up?
I think that sounds like a really good plan of action. From my stance, I think that would answer a lot of your questions about what you can and can't do at your current job with or without a master's degree. And that would maybe help with your decision of whether to try to continue at Quincy University or go to maybe a different program online or somewhere else nearby that would have it, or just not to get one. So do you think that a different master's degree or a different program to get this master's degree would be easier?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're finding that this particular program is bringing about challenges that another one wouldn't?
And I don't think it's that I can't, like, accomplish them. I just think it's, like I said, like the whole feedback thing. It's just, I don't know what to change, and like I do get it sometimes, but it's just like I shouldn't be wondering why I have an F on this assignment, or why are you critiquing me with every little thing, like my language, or just every little thing. I feel like I'm being called out on, and I don't appreciate that.
So I've heard you say a lot about what you don't like about the program. Can you tell me some things that you do like about it?
I really like Five Fields class. I feel like I have grown in that. at first I hated it because I don't like speaking in front of people like that. It scares me. But I feel like I've done a little bit better with something like that. And she has given me pretty good feedback, like, this is something you can change. And I feel pretty hurt from her because she's like, I've seen growth in you through this. And she's told me that, like, pulled me aside and told me that. I'm like, okay, so, like, that's the constructive criticism I need. And I like that if I'm struggling, I know that there's some people in class I can turn to, like, oh, we're having the same struggles, how can we get through this? I like how I can lean on some people, and they can lean on me.
You seem to have found a support group in your counseling courses.
And I think I'm going to struggle with that next semester because that support group is not going to be at QU. So I think that's also affecting if, should I stay or maybe take off a semester, or I'm not sure.
So it seems like a friend or friends you've met in your classes that have really helped you through it and made you feel like you weren't alone is not going to be there, which is making your decision more strenuous to whether you continue the program or not.
Yeah.
Were they leaving the program because of the same problems that you've discussed?
Yeah.
Did they find a different program?
Yes.
Is it an online program or a program you could consider?
It's schooling program, which I don't want to do. So that's not what I want to do, or I know that's not going to be right for me.
So you're sure that counseling is the field for you?
Just not school counseling. No way.
Okay, so mental health counseling.
Yeah.
At least you have that decided.
Yeah.
I feel that's probably your relief, but now you have to kind of decide what to do with that. So tell me what benefits you think could come from taking a semester off.
I think I'd get more work done, spend less money, like with books and all that. But I'm not really sure. I think just more focus to be on work and home life, better self-care, a lot more self-care.
With that new work change, that might be an option to dealing with the schedule, how that was going to add stress to your life.
I think those are like the big ones.
Have you talked to any other people in your life outside of school about this?
Yeah, it's hard for them to understand because they haven't gone through masters or even like college in general. So they're just more like working, and it's hard to like talk to parents about it because they've never been to college, and it's just I feel very stuck because they don't really understand or have good, I don't want to say good guidance or bad guidance, but it's harder for them to understand.
I'm sure it would be helpful if they had a solution to all your problems.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about whether or not, if you would have received feedback on assignments in that particular course, if that would be changing your thought process right now.
I think so. Like, I think if it was good feedback, not just like, oh, you were wrong with this, like, hey, like, this is where you're wrong, this is how you can change it. So
that could make all the difference.
Yeah. Especially like how it's approached. So I think that would make a huge difference.
You feel like that if you were being heard, so if this particular professor heard that the class, you and your support group for sure have discussed this, would hear that you guys are having these concerns and really would benefit by feedback, that would really make your experience in the program better.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely think it would.
Well, we're almost out of time today, so is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay, so just to summarize how the session went, well, you came in wanting to talk about work and school that are both bringing you stress, and from my perspective, I feel like school seems to be weighing on you more than work. And work's about to have a change where it might go to 5 days next semester, and that would give you practically no days off with school and work. And that's something that you value, is to have time for self-care and to spend with loved ones. And you're throwing around the idea of either quitting your master's degree or pursuing it somewhere else because you're not happy with how your experience has been at Quincy University so far. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'd say next week that we can start off talking about school some more and where you've kind of ended up on that decision, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.